Most people think you need a Nobel Prize or PhD to get an EB1A, but today's guest proves that's not true. He built his case from scratch. No fame, just focus. How? Why? And what kept him going for 2 years? Let's find out. Aditya, now most people assume that you need to be a Nobel laureate or have a PhD to even consider EB1, right? So, what
Mhm.
made you believe that this path was possible for you, and what gave you the first spark of confidence to actually, explore it?
So, I mean, if you have Nobel Prize, then definitely you would get EB1. I mean, certainly that is true, but you don't have to have just the Nobel Prize. So, first of all, like you need to go through all the USCIS criteria, and and it's available on the website. You can simply search on Google EB1A or O1 uh, eligibility criteria, and you'll come across all those 8, 10 criterias. And when you'll go through them one by one, you'll identify that USCIS has given multiple examples on what considered as an evidence for each criteria. So, for example, this one criteria that says you have to be like you have received national or international level of award in the past. Then they've given multiple examples of it, right? And uh, one example or one evidence for that is also that you have received funding from accredited investors in the US,
Yeah.
right? Although that is not any kind of prize, but that is considered as an award. And in your application, you can put that as an argument that, hey, I've got funded by XYZ VCs, and this funding is, and I mean, we all know that if you have received funding in millions, you are probably one of the very few people who have got like actual funding from accredited VCs in the US. So that is considered as an award, right? Similarly, for each and every criteria, there are multiple examples given on the USCIS website. You can go through them, right, and try to fulfill them. Now, what made me confident? Okay, I can also achieve it. So the way I look at it is, it depends on how big is your need, right? How big is your why? If your why is big enough, you would certainly do it. If your why is not big enough, you would probably start on this O1 and EB1A journey, and you would give up after some time. And the biggest reason behind that is because it requires a regular amount of work for almost 1 to 2 years. I mean, I have great friends here in the Bay Area, uh, and I'm always available to them to advise and to guide them, to share my journey, right? They have started a lot of time, but it's super difficult to continuously dedicate a good amount of time over 1 to 2 years so that you can really build your profile, do a lot of contribution, and that's where people fail. So, I mean, if your why is really really big enough, you would do it.
What was your why?
My why was very very simple, right? I mean, I wanted to start a company in the US. That was my sole purpose of coming to the US. So I came for my master's degree in 2015 at Duke University, but the purpose of coming to the US was to explore the Silicon Valley entrepreneur environment, to see how these great startups are coming up from this region, right? So I always wanted to do it, but definitely I had an education loan when I came to the US. So I needed a few years of employment to repay my loan. So that's when I started my career with PwC, and then worked with Deloitte Consulting in San Francisco for a few years. And after doing that for, I think I did job total for 4.5 years. So after doing my job for almost 2.5 to 3 years, my education loan was repaid, and I was in a very comfortable situation to now give a full-time shot to entrepreneurship. And that's when I came to know that, okay, can't do that on H1B. And the O1 and the EB1 are two different routes. So I really wanted to do it. So whatever time or effort it required, I invested that time.
Wow. Again, a very beautiful and inspiring story. But then, Aditya, like you said, that you have like good friends there in the Bay Area, and you always motivate them and guide them whenever they need you, right? But like you also mentioned that there are so many people, if their why is not that big, so they give up very easily because it's not everybody's cup of tea to invest so much time. Or I mean, if initially they promise themselves that they are going to invest a lot of time and they are going to make it possible for them, but then they are not able to maintain that consistency, because whatever that you want to do in life, consistency is something that makes you achieve your dreams, right? So people are not that consistent. I mean, initially they are, but when they reach a certain point and they get exhausted, and then their dreams and hopes, they let it die, right? How are you so consistent, and what made you work every day or every night for those 1.5 years to achieve your EB1, your O1 visa?
Yeah, so as I told you, it all depends on like how important is it for you to make it happen, right? For example, a lot of people start on their O1 and EB1A journey, and by the way, they do a great job at their work, right? They are very good at the job that they do. They definitely spend hours and hours, maybe like some additional hours every day or every week or every month. Uh, but what I strongly believe is maybe staying in the US is not super important for them, because and back of the mind you always have this thought that okay, it's okay if I have to go back, I can always go back to my home country, whether it's India or any other home country, right? But I have literally met people, for them they actually want to stay in the US. They don't want to lose the employment opportunities that they get here, right? They have this real need to stay in the US, work here, and they do dedicate time, right?
Mhm.
So I think whenever you have a second option, right, that okay, I'll go back to my home country, which is absolutely fine, right? It is an individual's choice. You
Right.
can certainly go back to your home country. Whenever you have that choice, you're not that stringent. But if you have no other option, I've seen people working. A very good example is a lot of people that they came to US probably 10, 15 years ago with their kids, and maybe their kids were like 4 or 5 years old at that time, so their kids are also immigrant here in the US. They were never born in the US, right? Now their kids are turning 21 probably in the next 2 to 3 years, and their kids actually want to stay in the US. And
Mhm.
now their need to get EB1 is so strong that they never tried this much of effort for themselves, right?
Mhm.
I have met those people, they have reached out to me, and I've guided a lot of those people, helping them. And I can see the effort from their end. I can see the zeal to get EB1 qualified or build that profile. And that is a genuine need, right? That genuine need was never there in the past.
If this episode helped you see that consistency, not credentials, is the real key to building an EB1A case, then don't miss what's coming next. In the next episode, you will hear why our guest refused to have a plan B and how that unwavering commitment led to building a startup that became a central pillar of his EB1A success.